right, so this is Ethan, who built this car. I know he looks like he should be selling you manly soap in a YouTube ad, but he's the madman behind this Volvo. What did you do to this thing?
Well, for starters, it's a LM7, so the 5.3 truck motor. It has an AR5 5-speed out of a Chevy Colorado, and then it's a bunch of other little tasty bits. So, kind of taking it from the top, it's a Walbro 450 in-tank fuel pump. We got rid of the Volvo pump, which the Volvos had it to where there was one in-tank, one under the car, so we got rid of that. There's a fuel filter there now. 3/8 AN fuel lines. We did, like I said, the AR5 transmission out of a Chevy Colorado. We got this adapter plate from this company called FabBot. So it's a 4L60E bell housing, a T56 clutch, and then the AR5 transmission. Moving up to the motor, LM7 5.3 truck motor, has a Trailblazer SS intake, 92 millimeter throttle body, different alternator and power steering bracket, 2.5-inch custom exhaust to a dual chamber muffler, and then it's all running on a Holley Terminator X standalone ECU. So that's kind of the current build list, I guess you could say. So, but yeah, me and one of my buddies just decided we wanted to do this over winter, and really only worked on it on weekends, and that was really it. Just became this Frankenstein of a car.
Oh yeah, check out Volvo Gravy Boys, right?
Yes.
Volvo Gravy Boys.
Volvo Gravy Boys.
You gotta check them out. I posted one of your videos when I think it was the first start video, maybe.
Yes.
I did a post about that.
So
good stuff.
Yeah. So it's been a little project and a half, and there's more goodies to come. But it's roadworthy. It drives. It's good. So.
Scares me.
Yeah, baby steps.
Scares me. You get that badge of honor. Scares me. There's very few cars these days that genuinely terrify me, and this is one of them. This is one of them. So you could stick that on your trophy shelf.
Yes. Yeah. No. It definitely will do its thing. I'll find another spot here.
Yeah, I don't want to rip past the bike.
Yeah. No. There's another little thing up here, but yeah. No. It's fun. It'll do its job. It needs a different rear end, so Ford 8.8 rear ends.
Oh yeah, what rear end is in it now? Just stock?
Stock, yeah, stock Volvo. It's a Dana 30. But the Ford 8.8 Ford 8.8 rear end fits into these really, really well. You just got to shorten them a little bit.
Okay.
And then weld on the Volvo brackets, but then that'll drop in there, and then I can get an LSD and do stuff like that. I honestly may just weld this diff. I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let me do a little, let's see here. I'm trying to find a good.
There it is. That's the music.
Yeah, that was like almost a little over $5,000.
Okay.
So it'll definitely do it, and like if you do, let's see if I can get to a reasonable speed without just giving it too much of the beans. Actually, hold on. Excuse me, Escalade. Do it like this. Ah, damn it! Yes! That's it. That was so. Let me tell you guys a funny thing about this. This transmission was $50.
Oh.
So, it was a guy on Craigslist, Facebook, $50, or he wanted it for like $100, and I told him, I'm like, hey, I'll come by today, $50, do you want me to, are you all right with that? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I got it knowing that it was semi-questionable.
Yeah.
So when you do those high RPM shifts, like if you, so we're in second, if you, so there it's fine. But if you do like a hardcore rev match and cram it, she don't like it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I spent $50. I can't be upset if something was wrong with it. And I'm just gonna run this as is for as long as it'll take it, and in the meantime just save up, and I want to get a T56.
I'm just glad because in the outro I grinded third, and I was like, oh no, I'm an idiot, I'm an imbecile.
No, this is this thing. If you do a little too much, she's a little temperamental with it.
Yeah.
But no, it'll definitely do its job. Hold on. Actually, you know what? Yep, no. It's good.
That right there, that pull felt like a Camaro. It felt like a Camaro.
Well, what's nice about these cars, the 240s that is, they're not as heavy as people think.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not making a ton of power, but because this thing, I think it was rough math, so I don't know how correct it is, or like just how accurate it is, but with the extra weight, I think this motor was like 180 pounds more than the Volvo motor.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't like too much more.
Yeah.
And then the trans was about the same. So with me in the car, I think it came out to like 2,980 pounds or something like that.
Wow.
So like just a hair. Now, like I said, a lot of that was kind of like estimating certain things. So I could be wrong, but still, even if it is just a sub 3,000 pound car, with this kind of power, it definitely...
What's sad is that this is barely over half the weight of a Hellcat. Hellcats are so heavy.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's impressive. This isn't that heavy.
No, and that's what kind of surprises people because it's a long car. It's a big car.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're really not as heavy as you'd expect them to be. So that was a big factor in kind of why I was like, you know what, maybe I will put an LS in this thing.
I have to say, this car feels a lot better in the hands of someone that built it.
Yeah, it'll, I mean, since we've done the swap, I've already put about, I think, 1,400 miles on it.
Wow.
I wanted to break in the clutch, you know, and like do a burnout. So like, we were driving it all over the place and we had to get out a couple kinks. We used the factory Volvo wiring to power the fuel pump.
Okay.
And how we had it wired in, it was 30-plus-year-old wiring. Some of it was a little questionable. So sometimes I would get a couple error signals with the ECU, or the fuel pump wouldn't go. So I ran a whole new line for the fuel pump.
Yeah.
Redid a bunch of the wiring and just freshened it up, and you know, it's been really solid since then. And like, if you have it in fifth and you're cruising, it's comfy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not too crazy. I mean, yes, it needs better brakes, and that's a thing that I want to address. It needs
stiffer steering.
Yeah, it does. Which is funny. I think the reason why I didn't notice it.
You know them?
Yes.
Okay. I can never tell who's just a Volvo fanboy or who like knows you.
That is my cousin's soon-to-be wife.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, definitely with the steering is something that needs to be addressed. But like I said, I have another person who I've met doing this whole swap. He has a turbo 240 or 242, so the two-door.
Okay.
And his is making like over 700 right now. And he said he did some sort of restrictor in there to kind of stiffen it up a bit.
Okay.
So that's something I want to do. I want to fix the tach, obviously. Like, I'm sitting at 1,600 and it's reading like 3,100.
Yeah.
So I got to just add some sort of resistor in line with that to
fix
that up. But, I mean, it's a fun turn. I mean, I've had a couple other people ask, you know, hey, are you going to repaint it? Are you going to do anything to it? I'm like, nah.
I love it. I love the, like, because, like I said, when I pulled up, it looked like the car hadn't changed in the last year since I last drove it. But it has changed.
Oh, yeah.
It has changed drastically in almost every sort of characteristic.
Yeah, it's seen a few things now. This car is, and it's gone through a few iterations and a couple things like the suspension, and yeah, that's one thing, but now the swap, the ECU, all the little definitely a labor of love, but in all honesty, it wasn't as difficult as I thought.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the swap would be a lot more involved. I get why people do LS swaps now.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. And what was so interesting to me is that it still has characteristics of the Volvo.
Oh, yeah.
They're still there. You know? It's like in those zombie movies where they're like, like the zombie like remembers their kids or whatever.
Right.
That's what it's like. Like there's like, you can see it behind the eyes. There's
Right.
still a little Swedish back there, but then there's just American grunt V8 up front.
What's funny too, and like that was the whole point of this, was to make it as stock-esque. Like I had one guy a couple days ago, I was getting gas at a gas station, and I guess that's the only place you get gas. That was stupid. Anyway, I was getting gas, and he was looking at it, and he was like, "That's not a normal Volvo, is it?" And it's sitting there just blep, 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 blep,
Yeah.
blep. I'm like, "Yeah, no, there's a couple little things done to it." And he like came by and was talking to me about it, and he's like, "If you didn't have those wheels and it was lowered a little bit, I probably never would have guessed that it has what it has." So
what's funny is I have the opposite of that story. I pulled up to a gas station in my RX-7. Guy goes, "Is that LS swapped?" And I looked at him. I didn't reply, and I just started pre-mixing it, putting the oil in. And he goes, "Oh, still rotary, nice." And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh God." This thing is fun, man. This is a little hoot.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I mean, and for me, I'm not like a big like prideful person. Like, oh, look at me, look what I did. But I will definitely say, like, after having this completed and being able to just drive it to work, or like doing what we're doing right now, just like
just cruising
it, or
on the hottest day of the year,
right? It's just nice to be able to say, like, yep, we were able to pull this off, and it looks stock. It doesn't seem crazy.
I think that's the best way to describe a motor swap, is we pulled this off like it was a bank heist that went sideways. That's how every motor swap goes. This shouldn't work. It might not work. It's gonna hurt a lot. But in the end, it worked.
It worked. Well, yeah, and with us doing what we're doing, so my buddy Corey, who helped me a lot with this, it was pretty much me, him, my buddy Eric, another Volvo guy, and a few of our other Volvo friends that would come by on weekends. We'd get the pizza, have a couple beers, we'd start tearing into this. But it was pretty much every Friday I'd dive into it till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then we work all day Saturday, and then I have this unspoken rule of just don't work on cars on Sundays.
Yeah.
It's like my day to just chill before I go back to work. We were able to pull so much off in the time frame, and like we said, it was right around 6 months.
Yeah.
All together, which would have been less.
For weekend working, that's good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're not on the show fast and loud. Like, you have a full-time job.
So, that's nice.
Yeah, what is that? I don't even know.
I don't know either. All right, well,
I appreciate you talking to us.
Well, here, real quick, dang it, hold on, there's a truck coming. I was thinking about it. Just,
fuck his day up. Woo-hoo! Yeah! There it is.
Lost my wallet there. But, yeah, you can do that, and then if you need to, just throw it into fifth.
Throw it in fifth, we're just cruising. We're just two boys cruising in the Volvo.
Just a couple of guys. We're being super safe because we're in a Volvo.
Yeah, that's true. This is the safest thing in the world.
Well, I was joking with my friends about it. They're like, "Oh, you're putting this LS swap, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it's in the safest vehicle that I could put it in." So let's be honest. If something goes wrong, I'll be fine.
Yeah, it's safe.
It's safe. It's a Volvo.
Well, thanks for talking to us. This was awesome. This is an awesome car, and I can't wait to see the rest of it.